My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. On today's podcast, we have Kelly Mi Lee, who is a Chinese American serial entrepreneur, film producer, and investor. She is notably known as the executive producer and star of Bling Empire on Netflix and the executive producer of Cypher, an FBI decoding series available on Roku, as well as Michael Shannon's crime drama, Echo Boomers. Bling Empire Season 3 is available to stream now. So to talk about all of the projects she's currently working on and some new things coming up, here's Kelly Mi Lee. Okay, so I'm so happy to finally have you on.
I know, I'm so excited to meet you, Monica. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I have so many questions, so I'm just going to jump right in.
Okay.
You have an amazing background because you've done, I feel like everything. You've executive produced. I like there's just like a list of things that you have done. I know that you started out, there was like co-executive producing. You have an amazing background. You've acted in something that's coming up. So I wanted to first just ask you how you got started behind the camera, what made that something of interest to you, and then what made you want to eventually do a project where you're in front of the camera.
I feel like I have like ADD. Like when you were like, you did everything. I'm like, sure, I haven't tried everything once, you know. I think for me, how I got started is, I didn't grow up in the industry. A lot of people they like I kind of admire because they grew up in the industry. They knew it from the beginning. They were learning it. I grew up in China, and then my whole family are in the medical field. They're all doctors. So entertainment was the furthest thing I can think of. And when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was, doing business and food and beverage. And of course, when you're in LA for a while, you just tend to be around a lot of people in the industry. And the more I got to know about the industry, the more I fell in love with it and how much respect I have for each actor, each director, producer, and every crew on the project. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's, like you say, with my background, I kind of get bored easily. And so with every project that I kind of got myself into, I'm like, it's its own little business in a sense, And then afterwards, you don't have to change your industry. You just move on to another building, another baby, another business. So I really fell in love with the storytelling part of it and how much passion people have in the industry. And I formed some really great relationships. And from that, because of my corporate background, my business background, I was very fortunate enough to be offered a position to help run a talent management company. And then really there was my like, really kind of really ground up and reading scripts and knowing how everything was putting together and also dealing with a lot of talent. That's
Mhm.
also why I think I have a lot of respect for both on camera as well as behind the cameras and how much work people put in. So I think how I got started is really just like, great people around me and leadership and mentors and also my luck, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's really amazing with some of the stuff that you've done. I mean, I've seen everything from like the swing of things, Cypher, and like I just remember like your name just kept popping up and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she executive produced this or she did that." And like, it was just like project after project, hit after hit. Obviously, I think a lot of people probably know Bling Empire because that's like, a huge show, but I also really noticed, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, so you can tell me,
Yeah.
but I noticed that I felt like the projects that you touched when you came on board or if you were in it in the beginning had a different tone to them. I felt like they were a
Mhm.
little more female, a little more diverse. There was a little more that was added into the projects once you kind of came on board. Is that something that's a goal of yours to do because of how non-diverse this industry is? I know that we're breaking through and there are things kind of happening, but we're not there yet. So is that something that
Yeah.
you've been working on?
I think, it also comes from experience. I think at the beginning, I was just like taking on any project I can get. And I'm like, hey, like if you want me on set, I'm there. I just want to learn. So, the first movie I produced was called Echo Boomers. That was with Michael Shannon, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Alex Piffer. We had a really great cast. It's the first time director that we all believed in, who I have another project with. But I think at the beginning, it's really like for me, it was just learning. I didn't. It was other people's vision in a sense.
Right.
Now, of course, now I want more female, representation behind the cameras, just on set, behind the cameras, in front of cameras, and also Asian representation. I speak a lot about that in publicly as well. So now the projects I pick, I am a little bit more pickier because then I realize how much passion and heart you have to put in each project to make it successful. And it's like many years of your lives. Now I know that like, now I have a little bit more, I would say power and staying to pick the projects I want to do. And I really want to focus on storytelling and telling stories with a cause. And I love true stories. So I think like before it was more of like, I just want to learn. Anything, anybody just want to give it to me, I just want to learn.
Right. And but I've noticed it though, like, like I said, throughout the course of your career. So it was probably while you were learning and then you started kind of like probably even maybe subconsciously in the beginning going, oh, maybe this, maybe this. But I've just noticed it. And then when I started looking at some of your completed stuff like Spilt Milk and Afterward, and when I started looking at some of the kind of descriptions and what's to come, I was like, oh, she's definitely like making a mark. Like she's pushing things to the side for sure. So I just love that because especially now, obviously with all the award stuff going on, it was so nice in particular to hear Ken Klaus like talk about how he thought he was done, right? Like as a kid, he was like,
Yeah.
I thought I was done. This was not an industry that was friendly to me. And then now, 20 plus years later, he said that he saw Crazy Rich Asians, changed him. He went for it again. And now look at it, like, it's just crazy. And it's such a great story. But and listen, it's so positive and I love it. But at the same time, I always look at it too as like how sad that is that he would think
Hmm.
that and have to feel that way and think that that's not happening for him. And I've heard you also speak about the importance of representation.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
with all of that
I
kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I got goosebumps when you were like saying that. I was like, yes, yes.
Well, because with all of that, I know, and it's great to focus on the positive, and I'm so happy for him and I'm so happy all this is happening. And I mean, he deserves it. But it's sad that that has to be like a thing, like that even, it's even a headline, you know what I mean? Like that people are even kind of bringing it up because it shouldn't even be a thing. Like it should just be a normal everyday, like, yeah, he's an actor and he's good. And that's why he deserves recognition. So for you being so like vocal about it, where do you see kind of the industry going? And are there things that you were trying to put out there or push to diversify it more?
Yeah, I mean, so thank you so much for saying that. I think we're definitely going the right direction, but Asians still very, very underrepresented in the industry. And, also the roles that we're getting too. Back then, like we're very stereotyped. Asian males are kung fu fighters or nerds, and females are very highly sexualized. But nowadays you get to see, I use this example like To All the Boys I Love. Lana just gets to play a normal teenage girl. So I think that we're definitely going the right direction. And because of projects like Crazy Rich Asian, I mean, Crazy Rich Asian really kind of helped Bling Empire, to be honest. And obviously because of shows like Joy Luck Club, because of, I mean, movies like Joy Luck Club, shows like Fresh Off the Boat, those success has paved the way for Crazy Rich Asians. But, before I had Bling Empire's idea for a while, but people were scared to do something that's never been done before. Because I get it, it's a business, end of the day. And if it's never been done, they don't know if it's going to make money. And a lot of people don't want to take that chance. And of course, because of Crazy Rich Asian and how well it did, and also, where Netflix is such a global platform, it was able to give us, being able to partner with us and give us Bling Empire. So, and hopefully Bling Empire will pave the way for other shows as well. And then now there's more and more Asian projects coming out. I'm just so happy.
I know it's so nice to see. And what I love too is like even with Bling Empire, there was no explanation, right? Like there was no reason to explain something or point something out or make it an issue. It was just a character. So it's very similar to what I think you accomplished kind of your example, which was basically like when you watched All the Boys I Love, you don't think twice. You're watching a girl and she's going through stuff, and we all relate to that. If you're a woman, if you were the guy kind of perspective, if you're the boyfriend, you're watching the show and the movie, and you kind of relate to the guy in the movie, whatever the case is. But you're not going, oh, that person's this background or this back. It's just gone because you're watching a film. Like it all makes common
Yeah.
sense to most people. It's just kind of crazy that it's not in the industry or it's not caught up yet. With Bling Empire, I think you guys did such a great job of mixing it and not making any of it an issue. none of it was to push the story further. None of it was to make a storyline. It was all just, these are people. This is what they're going through. This is some of the drama and like, the chaos that they're all,
Yeah.
but that's just what people deal with, and it's just a show. So like, I commend you for doing it and for pushing so hard to get it made, because I can only imagine how many people probably said no until that one person said yes, for you to move forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a hard role, but it was definitely worth it. And just like you said, we're all people that deals with the real like problems that everybody deals with, fertility issues, relationship problems. I went to therapy for the first time on camera, and but that opened up a whole separate door for me. And but same thing, finding real parents, just that it doesn't matter what class, race you are or age you are, you relate to one of the characters at least.
Yeah, and that's what's so beautiful too. Especially right now with things going on, it's just nice to watch shows where it's like you're not being preached to, you're not being taught to, but you're learning from. And if they say something, or if they do something, or if there's culturally something that is in there and you just don't know what it is and it's not explained to you, it's great that it's almost like you're encouraged to look it up. You're encouraged to do some research. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, to see someone holding something and they're talking about something, and like, yes, on the show they're not addressing what they're holding, but it's something culturally related to them, whatever culture that is. I feel like as a viewer, I go, oh, well, I love this character. I wonder what that was. Like, let me look it up and just educate yourself. And I think the work that you're doing is such a great way of making people go, I want to go out of my way to find out, what did that mean? Or why are they dressing like that? Or why are they holding that? Or what? So I just think a lot of the projects that you've done have really pushed that. So I just wanted to make sure to mention
Thank
it to you.
you.
I think
Oh,
you're doing
thank you,
a
Monica.
good job with it. I mean, it's amazing to me. So, and it's like project after project too. So I find you so fascinating. That's why I was like, I'm so excited
Uh,
to have her on. Um,
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, your most recent, I think, thing that was out that I saw was Ice Moon, right? Ice Moon Rising, I think was the
That
most.
one, we're still working on that one. So that one we're not in production yet.
Oh, okay. So that one you're still working on.
Yeah, that script took about 10 years. So, but it is really, really, really good.
Okay, maybe I like saw some stuff on it then. Maybe like maybe I saw some like description on it in the beginning or something. Because I feel like I read stuff on it. So, but so that one you're still kind of going through. So then it would be Immediate Family, right? Was the one before that.
Immediate Family is finished. It's doing the festival route right now. It's the that one I just executive produced, so I wasn't hands-on, but it's a documentary on 70s rock and roll music, which is a genre I wasn't familiar with, but now the more I look into it, the more I was fascinated by it. So yeah, that one we're going through the circuit right now.
For that one, did you find when you were working on it, was there like a 70s song or like musician that you were like, oh my gosh, I like this person, or someone that you never would have listened to, and then while doing research you were like, I'm adding this to my playlist?
Well, you know what's really funny? A lot of the music I heard, like during especially because we had to clear a lot of music, I was like, oh my God, I know that song, I know that song, but I just didn't connect the name with the artist because I didn't grow up in the US, right? But they're in popular movies and TV shows. I'm obsessed with Phil Collins now, so he's so great. So he's also in a documentary, but just like hearing songs that you're like, oh my, you've been hearing like really, really well, but I just didn't really connect the artist and also the history that goes behind each of these songs, and you're like, wow, I have so much respect for them. Like, but then some of them they're like, oh yeah, I was just in the studio, we're just jamming, with our friends, and we finished the song in an hour. Now we made millions, and I'm like, damn, I'm in the wrong business. So, but the chemistries and the relationship these people build throughout the years, a lot of them are still really close and great friends, and they still go to each other's house every Sunday to do barbecues and stuff. I'm like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like such a beast of its own. But what's so funny is it's kind of similar to the industry, right? It's like you can write something, and like some people will be like, oh, I wrote that in a week, and it's like a multi-million-dollar movie. And then someone else is like, oh, I worked for a decade, and then it comes out and it's a huge movie. It's just such a weird phenomenon. And I feel like there's such a relationship between anyone that's in this industry and anyone that's like a musician or an artist, or like it's all so like symbiotic and so interesting how we all like work in such different ways, but it's just like something
Different ways, yeah.
just becomes like a big thing, it's just crazy.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, you never know. For the projects that you're working on now, so I have written down because I want to make sure. So I know like Spill Split Milk, Afterward, Good Guys. I mean, these are just a few things that you're doing. AM MP House. So these are all projects that are coming up. Are there any that you can kind of like talk about and let us know like what we could expect? And, is there like a TBD date of like when it's going to be coming out?
I can give you TBD days, but I feel like it's never, never right. Amp House was something we shot during COVID. It was a like a lower budget thriller that we took a lot of the crew from Echo Boomers because no one was working, and we're like, hey, let's just shoot this movie and see what happens. That's a really fun popcorn film. So that one's finishing up right now, and we're signing some distribution deals, so we'll see what happens on that one.
Okay.
Good Guys is a story that Nick Cassavetes, directing. Matt Berry, who's an amazing casting director. He did, The Notebook, Alpha Dog, like Shanghai Noon. I mean, he's an amazing writer and casting director. His partner and him, Ron, wrote the script, and when they took it to me, I was like, this is amazing. It's a sad story, and it's an unfortunate story, but I love these true stories. So that one's taking a little bit, but we hopefully can go into production soon on that one.
And how's it working with Nick? Because I mean, Nick's a pretty big, I mean, he's done, I feel like everything and anything, and also everything emotional. I always like anytime I've ever talked to Nick, I'm like, why do you just make me cry? Because everything he does is like an emotional movie. But
he's like the coolest person ever. I'm like, can you adopt me? Like, I've only had, since we haven't been on where we haven't started yet, so I haven't really like had too much interaction, but other than meetings here and there, and he flies in for meetings, and he is just so cool. I'm like, can you just adopt me? Like, you're just like, I just want to hang out with you all day, like.
That's so funny because like I feel like he's every movie I've seen with him attached to it in some way is it a super emotional movie, and he does it so well, and he's so good at what he does. But
Yeah,
like tells me that he's like so fun, and I'm like, that's so crazy because every time I interview him, it's like I'm always like, go, why'd you make me cry during this scene?
I think the beautiful thing about him is that he can really know how to storytell and bring the emotions out of, everybody he works with, as well as the actions. Like, I feel like he has like really great action shots. And I love also, with him, he really believes in character development as well.
Yeah. So that's probably why, I mean, like literally he just does so well. And when I watch them, so like I'm very excited for Good Guys, like just because of everyone that's attached to it in particular, but I just feel like that's one I'm definitely gonna be crying. It's emotional, but I'm excited for it, and I think that's such a great team to put together. When you're doing all of these things, so like you have like 5 projects going on at the same time, or like 6, I think, at the same time. How do you juggle all of that? Because when you're an EP or like even like more hands-on than that, you're doing a lot. I mean, like you're running around, you're so involved in these projects. So how do you kind of handle the workload with all of it?
Yeah, so that was actually just my struggle all of like last year and the year before, was just because I'm not going to be able to produce like hands-on produce a lot of project because for movies, because it's just a time commitment, right? And for EPing a movie, it's a little bit easier because then you're just in meetings, you can kind of work remote, you can just kind of go on set here and there. But when you actually like physically produce a movie, it's very, very like draining, and but it's also fun. You get to hang out with good people. But I think the key is really finding great team around you, good department heads, and the people that you've worked with, because then you guys really know how to communicate and know how each other work. And so I think that's the key. That's why and also because I don't know if you know, but I'm pregnant. So I'm about 7.5 months pregnant right now. So I have a baby
You don't
coming
look it
soon.
at all, but congratulations.
Oh no, that's way down.
I was like,
So
absolutely not. You're so tiny. Oh my God.
yeah. So
Congratulations.
just thank you. So definitely time management is a hard thing, and I'm definitely just being a little bit more picky on the projects that I really want to be hands-on on.
Yeah. And then, when it comes to what is it for you, the difference between being an EP on something and then acting like you did for Holiday Twist? Like what is the shift for you, I guess, like mentally when you're like, okay, I'm not EPing, like I'm stepping into an acting role here, or like how do you like kind of put that together in your brain to like shift
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, I think, you have to kind of know your role. So for Holiday Twist, it's funny because it's my crew that I shot a couple movies with, and they called me. They're like, "Hey, do you want to come and play with us one day on set?" And I'm like, "Ah, sure. I'm in town, so let's, do it." And they were so great because again, it just when you're going into a role, then you have to step back from like the controlling thing. Same thing with my film Bling Empire before. This was my first time on camera, and then I'm like worrying about the lighting. I'm like, why am I worrying about lighting? I gotta stay present in the scene. But I think just talk to the director, talk to the producer. What do you need from me? And talk to the other actor that you're doing scene with. That scene, my scene partner, I was gonna do with the Kelly Staples, and she's great. So I was just like, what do you need from me? Like, am I giving any? How do you want this character to go? And then just ask them, and people will always tell you what they need. And I think with when you are a producer on the project, then you have to take more of like a lead role.
Hmm. Is it hard to turn off that control though? Like even for Bling Empire, because you were an EP and then to still go in front of the camera, like I don't know, like I can't imagine just being like, okay, I'm shutting off everything around me that's happening because I have to focus on this character. So is that like really difficult for you, or have you figured out a way to like master that?
At the beginning, yes, because again, I was like worried about lighting. I'm just worried about like, and then when we're wrapped the scene, I'm like cleaning up with everybody, and they're like, no, no, just go, like, you know. Um, so that was a little bit of a challenge to switch, but also like again, our crew was so great, and then with Bling Empire, because I'm also on camera, so I'm not in like the editing room or any of that stuff to also make it fair for other people, but I'm not in those, so I can take that part of me like kind of like just give it away. Yeah. Trust your people and they will do a great job and letting go control and it'll be okay.
So for all of these things, I always ask everybody, when you're on camera, behind camera, working with, crews, whatever the case is, I always have to ask this question for everybody because I'm always curious. When you started working, especially like in the beginning, but maybe even like now, like for something like Bling Empire or like Holiday Twist, did you ever like feel yourself going, I want to like steal something because I want to remember that? Because like it's like a big deal. It's like when you do like your first thing, it's like a big deal, right? So you want to like remember it. So did you ever find yourself like taking stuff from like sets or like wanting to keep something because you were like, this was a moment where something changed, or like
Hmm.
Bling Empire changed this for me, so I want to take this. So have you ever like like done any of that?
I don't think so.
You've been good.
I
You haven't
don't
stolen
I don't think
anything.
so. Yeah. But they are we always give each other like, wrap presents. So, so you kind of have something behind, last season I got all the crew, I call them the Bling crew.
Aw.
So we have Bling Tuesday. So the whole crew dress up is like, they bling themselves out on Tuesdays,
Oh, so
But
fun.
I got them like custom made blankets for season two, so they can take that home. And then season one, I got our poster obviously for that. But I don't think I went on set. I want to take something. I mean, like Holiday Twist was funny. We shot in July, and it was the summer, and then it's like holiday decorations, and you're like looking at this amazing Christmas tree and like all these presents underneath. You're like, I wonder what's in the box.
So you're like, maybe. So you considered maybe looking at one.
Yeah, I'm like, let me just check this out. But it's probably nothing. But
I know, like I'm always just like curious because I feel like I would want to just like take everything, but I know like also there are people that do all that where like they take your wardrobe back and all that. So I'm always like, I wonder how people do that, like how they do actually like take something. But you've been good, so you haven't you haven't tried to.
not yet.
So I wanted to ask you too, like kind of similarly, not about stealing, but similarly working with all of these different crews, working with some of the same people. Why is it important to kind of build that relationship and either continue to work with people that you have a relationship with, or to even bring on new people and try to teach them in a way that's conductive, I guess, like, to moving forward for them in their career?
I think a set is just so difficult to manage because there's so many people and things are just going out of control at all times in every direction. Especially when I shot that movie during COVID, I never want to shoot another movie in COVID ever again. But it's when you have people that you are familiar with and and you trust, it's great because you can trust them to handle whatever they need to handle the department. And then bringing new people on, giving new people opportunity is great as well. But then but you have somewhat of a like a stable environment to bring them on. But if you bring new people on when it's already like a mess, it's just so hard to deal with because it's like things can go south real fast. And then
Yeah.
you have so many people's lives, like they're dependent on it, and then money as well. Like you wanna try to just control your set as much as possible.
Yeah. And what is some advice that you would give people that are like starting out, that are either having a hard time because they're a woman, having a hard time because of their background, having a hard time just in general because this is a very hard business? Is there any advice that you would give to somebody? Because I know I do believe in kind of what you said in the beginning. It's hard work. It's a lot of luck. There's a lot of kind of factors that kind of align. But is there anything that you would kind of want to say to somebody to be like that right now they're like down and they're like, I'm not moving forward. What should what would you recommend?
I think the first thing I would say, just focus on projects that you're really truly passionate about. Um, be resourceful and work smart. And I think also just not giving up, because that's a really hard thing with the industry because things change so fast, but things can also change overnight. There's so many actors who are like, "Yeah, I'm about to quit. I'm about to like, get on a plane, go back home." And the next day they get, the job that like made them. And I think that's the beautiful thing. And just keep being good to people. I think just being sincere and genuine and, you know, things, just believe in yourself.
And then I have to ask you because I'm curious too. You were on Family Feud, Celebrity
Oh,
Family.
yes.
How is that? Because I feel like everybody's dream is to go on Family Feud. So was that fun? And like, what was that experience like?
That was fun, but we lost.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that part.
It's so funny because I think to logic. They're like, what do you not do on a first date? I'm like, talk about your ex. Not on there. And it was like fart. And it's like on there. And I'm like, what? You know? So I think like I think too logically. But it was so much fun. He was great. I love these game shows. It's like I love these game shows.
You were so good on that. You were so good on Family Feud. I was cracking up. So I like enjoyed it so much. I wasn't gonna say that you lost, but I enjoyed it so much.
Oh
And
my God.
just looked like so
Yeah,
much
it's
fun.
so I haven't done my third game show yet because I lost two already. I lost Family Feud, and I did Kevin Hart's
Celebrity Game.
Celebrity Game Face
Yep.
with Simu. I lost that one, and he likes to win too. So we were doing so well, and then we lost the last one. So I've been getting game show offers, and I was like, oh my God, I have to pick one that's like I'm really gonna win. I just cannot lose three in a row. Like that's gonna be horrible.
I want to come back to another thing that amazes me about you, your philanthropy work. Because like the stuff that you go out of your way to do, I'm just amazed and awe of you as a human, like the amount of stuff that you're able to do, like let alone give back. So what makes that so important to you too, to make sure that you spend time to work on so many nonprofits and advocate for them and give money to them. And some of them are well known. One was Prince Harry's. I know that you've done UNICEF, like, but why? And I know it sounds dumb because it sounds like a simple answer. Well, I want to help people, but like a lot of people don't do it. So why spend the time when you're so overwhelmed, so busy? You have a little baby coming. How do you find the time to also make that a priority and really push that too?
I think for us, it's really about like why are we here in a sense and why we do what we do, right? Like, end of the day, I think for us is that for me at least, I want to hopefully leave this planet a little bit better than I found it, and then for the next generation, especially, I have newborn babies coming soon. So I think that's for me, that's really the reason why, like, to help others whenever we can. I actually just launched my own nonprofit called Golden Voice Society as well.
I'm gonna ask you.
Because it's just there's just so much. We can't fix everything. I think that's the first thing. When I first started getting into this space, I was kind of like I want to do everything. I want to help everybody. And unfortunately, it just you're only one person, and that's why I'm very like a lot of stuff I work with has to do with children education or right now with the AAPI community. So, you have to really have the passion for it. And yeah, I think for me, I just really want to leave this planet a little bit better. And even if I could just like help one or two people, that's totally okay.
Yeah, well, you do a lot more than that. But I just find it amazing that you are able to make the time. I wanted to know what the project is that you're most excited about coming up. Because I know obviously Bling Empire is like huge. But and you know, everybody is talking about it. I remember, I mean, like every episode that airs, we were all like, what's happening? You know, and like all of season two, we were like, did you see that? Did you, oh my gosh, you know, we're all like having conversations about it. So that's like a number one for me. I love that show so much, but I'm so excited. Like I said, I've read some descriptions about all your future stuff that's coming out. So what's one in particular that you're really excited about and that maybe you could like tease a little for people? Because I know we talked about some of them.
I think right now, the one thing I'm working on right now, I know it's going to take a while, and is that I'm actually writing something. So
Oh, good
taking a
deal.
step at that. But it's really about different families and immigrant story. Because immigrant story is very close to my heart since I wasn't born in the US and growing up, here, there was a lot of struggles that hasn't been shown on TV. I know that, we looked at Crazy Rich Asian, Bling Empire, but we didn't really get to where we are from, just it didn't really hand to, at least for me, right? Because it wasn't hand to me. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of struggles. And so I want to explore that a little bit more. So I'm actually writing something right now. I know it's going to probably take me a bit, but I'm definitely something that I'm very, very passionate about. Just tell more of the immigrant story and the struggles as well for the Asian Americans.
Yeah, and I think that's so, like I said, so needed. Like kind of how we're kind of circling back to kind of how we started, but I think it's so important. And I can't imagine, and I think that's what people need to like take a second and just imagine giving up everything and going somewhere and like you're not speaking the language and you don't know what's going on. And it's like I can't imagine that. And I can't imagine parents staying back and like or parents doing what they have to do to make sure that families and there's just so much to that and there's so much that's not told and probably so much pain and like so much that you have to learn from it and to like be where you are to not only make it through that and then become super successful and be in this industry. I mean, what better voice to tell that story, you know? But I think people a project like that is so great because I think it makes people sit for a second and go, wow, like I didn't think, like, what if I had to leave tomorrow and take off and go to, Russia? Like I don't speak the language, I don't know what to do, and
Yeah,
by yourself and alone, and or your parents paid everything to get you there, and and it's like pressures on you, and there's just so much. And I think
absolutely.
a story like that
Yeah.
can be like so inspiring for so many people. So
Have you seen a show called Warriors?
yes.
Okay, so it's a modern day twist on Warriors. I think Warriors is so amazing. I can't wait for season three. I think they're in editing right now. So I'm like, hurry up. And the talents and they're so great. I have a handful of friends who are in there, and then it's just such a so for this it's like a more of a modern day twist of Warriors.
Yeah, but that's so perfect though, because I think like the more that we get to see all those things, I love that show, by the way. The more all of those are told, or like Little America was a great one, like the more
Hmm.
that we just kind of understand, I think people take a second out and just give a little grace sometimes and like just understand that people that you see are coming from all sorts of backgrounds and have had and it wasn't so easy, like it wasn't
Yeah,
overnight. And I love when people too, like some actors, like you mentioned this earlier, but some actors that have been working for 40 years, nothing, and get a movie. And then people just think they've been rich forever. And they're like, no, like I was working a regular job and I was trying to do this. And, I just got lucky finally, but they stayed in it for that long. So it's just things like
absolutely.
that. And I think the more it gets exposed that like, it's not just like your first audition, like I think things like that. It's not just like you just came over and you were, like you said, like you
That's
were just like born into walk into the business. It's like
yeah,
you had a hard start, and I think
that's
the more
so true.
is important.
Yeah, that's so true. That's why I love reading like Bryan Cranston's book, Matthew McConaughey's book. Like Bryan Cranston foreclosed, I think, on two houses before he made it, and he's been working for so long. He's so talented, and it took, Breaking Bad, and I was like, oh, there was a dad from Malcolm in the Middle, like,
I know. And like so and the other thing is too, like a lot of times if you're not familiar with this industry, like I don't know everything about it. I'm still learning, but you don't sometimes know how to even handle your money. That's something that
mm,
people don't tell you. Like they don't tell you
yes,
someone to come in. And so sometimes you'll be on a hit show and then you go, oh, well, they're set. And then the other thing is people think you get like auditions, 1,000 roll in after you've been on like this huge show. And that's not the case either. So it's like people just don't understand that there's so many aspects and you're paying so many people and there's so many things going on that
Yeah.
it's like you could leave a show with not that much money and then you could be trying for 10 years to get something else. And so I just think like the more we can like get rid of like the misnomers that people have about industries or backgrounds or people or women or whatever the case is, the better. And that's why like I said in the very beginning, you were one of the biggest advocates for it. So I'm so happy to hear that you're writing something that will show even more of what it's like, and that it's not as easy and it's not always pretty, but you can have like these beautiful moments like you have like in your career.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, now I put it out there, so I have to finish it.
It's
So I have
out
a
in the
timeline to
world.
finish it now.
Well, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for all of the stuff you're doing. I'm excited for Holiday Twist. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for everything. I would like literally read list off every single thing you're doing. So I'm so excited. And I think the stuff that you were doing is so important. And the more projects that you're attached to, I think the better it is for everybody that's involved. And I think the more we're learning and the more projects that you're writing and being a part of and bringing people on, and anyone that gets the luxury of you being their mentor, I mean, I just think that you're cascading this beautiful path in this industry that is so needed. And I'm just so thankful for you, like I said, as a human, and for all the work that you're doing and all the money you're raising and just everything about you. And I'm just so happy that you took time out to talk with me because I know how busy you are. And I just, like I said, I'm in awe by you and I'm just so impressed with you. And I know a lot of us like talk ourselves down or we kind of like downplay it. And so for anyone listening or gets to watch this, like, I'm just so happy to be able to tell you to not downplay yourself because you are amazing. And the stuff that you're doing is changing lives. And so
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for everything.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having this platform and, for your time as well.
Everyone could look out for all of your new stuff. So you have like 5 things in production. Ice Moon Rising we're waiting on. We have Holiday Twist coming. So there's so many things. There's Bling Empire. So if people haven't checked it out, go. There's season 1 and 2 are available. You can go watch them and just like kind of catch up on everything. And then check out UNICEF is a big organization that you work with. You work with Well Child, right? And then you have your own um organization. I'm like losing my train of thought now. You have your own organization that people can find out. Where can they go to if anyone's listening and they want to donate or help with your organization? Just really quickly.
Yeah, it just goldenvoicesociety.org, or our social medias at Golden Voice. We can use all the help, we can get.
Okay, so everybody go there, give money because she's amazing, and and helps. Every dollar helps. Every dollar. So if you have a dollar,
Absolutely.
because it all adds up. And go follow Kelly on social because you're on social media, so they can go follow you and all of your stuff. And we will just keep watching you and get bigger and bigger and bigger as an actor, soon to be a director, I'm sure. Executive producer, writer. I think it's all just gonna get huge. And as I always kind of like joke with a few people that I know are gonna be big, just don't forget me during your Oscar speech. That's all. But
Thank
thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Kelly Me Lee talk about her experience in the business, what it's like working on some of the shows, and some of her upcoming projects. Don't forget to check out her charity, which is goldenvoicesociety.org, to find out more information about how you can donate or get involved. And make sure you head over to Instagram and give her a follow so you're updated on all of her latest projects. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.